Welcome to the Selecting Your Courses in Computer Science, Math, and Physical Sciences. My name is Claudia Tang, and I'm one of the Associate Registrar at Innis College. Today in this session, we will cover 4 things. First is helping you choose your first year courses with a focus on computer science, math, and physical science programs, making your timetable using the timetable builder tool, and going through the checklist of key dates for course enrollment, as well as understanding how to complete your registration for your first year. So first things first, I want to let you know the resources that you may need in order for you to select your courses and enroll in them. First, wanted to let you know that the registrar's office is open throughout the summer, and you can reach us by email, phone, or walking during our office hours in order to get help for any questions that you may have for course enrollment. You will also be needing to bookmark this page. This is a Faculty of Arts and Science current student website. And in fact, you will probably need to refer to this a lot throughout the 4 years of your tenure here at the university in the Faculty of Arts and Science. And the 3 main websites that you're going to be using would be from the Arts and Science calendar, where this earlier session, you have looked at the degree requirements. You can find degree requirements, program requirements, and course descriptions. Then this other website called the course enrollment. It's where you can find the dates and instructions on course enrollment, as well as the timetable builder tool to make your timetable, and using Acorn as the website where the student web service where you enroll in courses. So there will be other sites at the department unit's website that you might refer to, and you can find all of the contact information in the program A to Z site within the calendar of Arts and Science. And in there, you will be able to find websites to departments as well, where you can access more detailed course descriptions or have any questions about ASIC or their research opportunity programs. Then sometimes you may want to refer to the department's website. Okay, so the first one is the calendar, and this is the program A to Z. When you click there, you will be able to list all the department units and that makes the Faculty of Arts and Science. And then it's also where you could get your courses, your course list, shortlist your courses. And when you get your short list of courses, step 2 is to put all of those courses into the timetable builder, where you can make a timetable. And once you do that, then you are able to, once you're satisfied with how your timetable looks and you're getting the right sections for the courses, then you will proceed in the final step of actually entering all of those courses into Acorn here to enroll. So those are the main basic 3 steps. So now I'm going to go back to focus on how you select your first year courses. You will recall that program requirements is one of the major parts that make up your degree. And for that, you will, out of 20 credits, you will need to choose a combination of programs, minimally 1 specialist, 2 majors, or 1 major and 2 minor combination. So in reality, you also can be active in up to 3 programs or program areas. So what I would suggest as a first year student is that you do actually look up to potentially up to 3 potential programs that you want to possibly get in. You can have more, but put them in order of priority. And this way you will be able to request these programs and apply for these programs at the end of their first year in March. So for now, what you need to do is basically take the required courses to get into to apply to those programs at the end of your first year. So the difference between a major, minor, major, or specialist is really how in depth you want to go into each of those disciplines. So a minor, if you choose to do a minor in one area, for example, then it comes down to you taking at least one full credit each year, assuming it's a 4-year, like you're going to finish this in roughly 4 years, then you would finish, if you do one course a year, then you will finish the minor by the end of fourth year. If you enroll in a major, then typically it will require 2 full credits worth of courses each year, roughly, to complete 6 to 8 credits that is required for that major. And the specialist, you would require maybe 9 to 13 credits, which in many cases, unless you already know that's what you want to do and you get in, otherwise, some students could decide in their second year, for example, to after their second year to decide whether they actually want to specialize or do, keep the major or not. So for now, for all intents and purpose, it's not, you don't have to have it set in stone, but roughly in general, it's a good idea to have a few options and list up to 3 options, and then take those required courses to kind of like form the basis of your core courses, list selection. Okay, so I'm going to use computer science as an example. Let's say that's as a program example. So from programs A to Z, you click on computer science, you'll see an introduction and also find contact information. And after that, you should see the list of programs that are available. So computer science offers 2 types of minor, a general minor and an applied data science minor. So you can further click on that and it will drop down and it tells you what are the courses that are required to complete that minor. And then you also see here, so these are the programs that are offered for the department, by the department. And then you also see this focus or foci, depending how you like to say it, but basically these focus are not programs, but what they are is that they've modified. Let's say you choose a general computer science major, you can choose to focus in game design. And then if you click on that, they will actually sort of further tell you, okay, well, these are the list of courses that are related to game design that you may want to take, if this is ultimately the focus that you want to do. Or you want to still do a major in computer science, but a focus in theory or computation. Or you want to do a specialist, but you want to specialize in human-computer interaction. So the focus here, even if you don't actually end up completing that, it doesn't make you ineligible for graduation. But what it does is it's like if you complete a specialist, you can choose one of these foci or more to help you guide what courses. And if you do complete them at the end, there will be the transcript will show what area of concentration you have with a specialist in computer science, for example. Okay. So let's say I click under computer science major and I'm interested in that. And for now, so I'm just going to, there are 3 things that you want to look out for when you're looking at program. The first thing here is that, first of all, computer science is a science program. Some are arts, some programs offer arts programs as well. So, but in this case, this is a science program. And here, enrollment requirement. So that is very important because it tells you what are the program requirements, program enrollment admission requirement. Again, remember, you apply for programs officially or declare programs at the end of your first year. Right now, what you need to do is focus on taking the first year required courses for the program. So for computer science, they do have 2 sets of courses that they do recommend first year students do. If you are admitted to the computer science admission category directly, this is the recommended courses that the first year courses that you need to take. the CSC 110Y, and when you see a comma, it's and CSC 111H, and math. So those are the 3 courses that you need to take if you are admitted to the computer science category. If you were not, then you can still take first year courses to apply for the computer science major or minor only at the end of first year, but these would be the sections or courses that a cluster of courses that you will need to take. Now, if you were not admitted directly into the admissions category for computer science, then it means that you have to take these courses, and they will note what your average is for these 2 courses, plus a supplementary application that you have to apply to determine your admission or into the formally into the program at the end of first year. So typically when you see a variable minimum grade, it means that you have to complete these courses, and here it says below 70 will not be considered for admission. So you need to aim higher. And then I think the average typically for this past year has been 80, but this variable grade can change from year to year depending on the number of applicants and etc. So that's why it's called variable. It's not guaranteed even if you meet the minimum. Whereas if you were admitted directly into the program, here you just have to complete these courses, 3 courses by the end of first year, and within the 12 months, including summer, and you need to attain these minimal marks. Okay, again, it's making sure that you list these courses that you're doing, and then you continue to add up, find another program, pick out the first year requirement, so that's how you make up your core list of courses. And then of course you can add later on some of your electives that you may use or want to take that might fulfill your breadth requirement. So the next section of the page are course descriptions. So I'm going to go through, you already go through it this morning, but I want to point out a few things specific to computer science. And I just wanted to, for example, here, CSC 111H. When you see that, it actually has a prerequisites of CSC 1110. So that means this course must be taken in the first term. And when you get the mark, it has to be a 70 more. If not, then you technically should not be taking this course. And this will mean that you may have to retake, maybe take 148 and 165 again in order to, and then take the whatever is remaining in order to continue with the admission meeting the requirements. Okay, so it's important that you, I just want to point that out. So breadth requirements here, usually for every course, they will have a categorization of 1, 2, or 3, or 5. But some courses, some Y courses would fall into 2 categories, and it will be noted as, for example, anthropology 100 is a 4 plus 3. That means that half a credit counts as a half a breadth 4, and half a credit counts as a breadth 3. So, okay, so in addition to the course code, you will it is in the timetable builder that you will find another code that is called section code of the course, and that will indicate whether the course is offered in the first term, second term, or throughout the year. Okay. So now more on course code. For example, computer science, here you'll see the courses are lumped. These are all 100 series courses, and you could see that these are all first year series computer science courses, and they are kind of variant. So in this case, if you the variants are determined by grouping of courses. So these two would be for students who enter in a specific category, and these two, 148, 165 computer science, are for non-CMP admission category. These other ones are if courses that start with 19 something, these are all first year foundation courses. They're meant for breadth, could be used for breadth requirement, but typically not used for program requirement. Okay, so we already went through this. So the difference between students who admitted to the program, direct admissions category, computer science, will take these cluster of courses, and this is the other one. So it's at the end of 4 credits. So your year of study is actually determined by how many credits you do at the end of August, so including summer session. So if you complete 4 credits, you would be deemed as going into second year coming September. That's how we determine our year of study. Okay, so here are other patterns for other students who may be interested in other math and physical science programs, such as actuary, astronomy, astrophysics, physics, statistics, material science. This is a combined program offered by engineering and Faculty of Arts and Science. There's also earth science and chemistry. So if you look at these programs, they typically have their own first year requirement course, such as chemistry or physics, a combination of statistics, sometimes thrown in the mix, and math 223 is also a common one that even recommended to take in first year. But the common thread is that you have to take a math course. So the question here is that you see they accept math 135, 136 combination with math 137 and 157, these variants. How would you determine which one to take? That you will have, that really depends how far or what the recommendation is, that you may have to kind of like see that. Look up the program and see what they recommend. So for math variants, for example, the math 133 is really for students in commerce. It combines linear algebra already for students in commerce, but 135, 136 really is the standard calculus 1 and 2 for most science students, including life science students. And 137 math is actually the one that is includes introduction to proofs and abstraction, and is the one that is recommended for most computer science and math and physical science students. The math 157 is definitely a lot more intended for math specialists. It is more theoretical, so really it's you may want to take a look and see which one you most suited for you in terms of level of difficulty. So the higher it is, the more theoretical. So you may have to kind of like pick and choose which one is the right one that is recommended for your program. If you need more information about the sort of like figure out which one is the right for you and you still have questions about that, feel free to contact the math department. Statistics also is statistics is one of those that if you're interested in data science and statistics, they highly recommend you take Stat 130 in your first year and Math 223 in your first year, because they do not, you cannot take Stat 130 in your second year. So if you're one of those students that didn't intend, but then later want to do a minor in statistics or whatnot, then that's fine. It's just that you probably won't, without the 130, you will need to apply for this stat program in the second year after you take one of these second year combinations of stat courses. So again, these are second year stat introductory courses. And the variants are more like depending, this is a more standard for all general, but for statistics, this is the standard 237, 238 combo. This stat 247, 248 is specifically for computer science application. So you can choose that if you are in computer science, or you take a higher one, but they are all mutually exclusive. So you only choose one combination. And they also stress that if you choose the first one, 137, then you have to do the 238. You can't combine 237, for example, and then 248. Okay, so this is just something to keep in mind. And another example of what variants are. Okay, so math and chemistry, chemistry and physics, they are basically also the same. So this is 35H chemistry and 136 chemistry versus 151. Why? This is, again, this is the 151Y is what they recommend if you're doing thinking of doing a major in or specialist in chemistry. They recommend you take that. But general for all life science general chemistry purpose, then it's just 135, which is physical, and 136 is organic chemistry. And when you look at all of these series, again, there's 194 seminar courses, again, meant for non-science students, introductory to the field, not meant for program requirement or preparation for the program. And then there are also a few, sometimes some second year courses that are also for non-program. So make sure that you read the course description and not accidentally take a physics 200 level course that would not be counted for the program itself. Okay, like for example, physics 205 is physics of everyday life. This is primarily for students enrolled in other categories and not. And you cannot take this course if you have already physics or taking physics before. Okay. So when you're considering the variants and more advanced, be sure you evaluate your interest and capability, because it is, the higher you go, typically is more theoretical, so it can be more challenging. So always get some advice and make sure that you follow the instructions in the calendar. You can also check department websites or sometimes try the classes. Even like, let's say I really love chemistry and I just want to see if this is a 151 is a good one and it fits your timetable. You may want to check it out. I mean, again, you have 2 weeks in the classes to kind of confirm which one you want to be. And sometimes you'll be surprised. The benefit of taking 151 chemistry, for example, would be that would be that it would be maybe a smaller class, and so and so you may enjoy the subject matter better. But I do have to warn you, typically the mark that you get might also be slightly lower depending on the difficulty, but the content itself, sometimes some students find it very rewarding to take the higher level one. Okay. So if you have 2 programs that require a statistic course, make sure that you look at the 2 programs and take the higher variant of the 2. So for example, sometimes students take statistic major and combine it with, let's say, another program that requires a statistic course. So make sure that you take, maybe in this case, take the statistic course variant, because that is probably the higher variant of the 2. There are other programs that will have their own version, offer their own versions of statistics, quantitative analysis, but typically those are applied statistics, so it's deep I think easier and not than the regular stats, and so your stat major may not accept those applied statistics for the major or minor. Okay, so in this case, you take the statistic uh, uh, variant of it. Now, so just to recap, in terms of when you're thinking about choosing your courses, make sure that you choose your core courses based on programs that you really are interested in, and that you see how taking this first year course will serve you as a foundation and help you confirm whether that is something, how far you want to go. Now, you may end up after taking the course in the first year and say, actually, I just want to do a minor. I don't want to do a major in it. And that's fine, because these are legitimate, adjustments that you may make really on all of these programs area up until the year that you graduate. So you have an opportunity to do that. And consider what course load you're going to be taking. So assuming if you're going to take 100% course load, that's 5 full credits that you balance your courses and put them as a sort of priority. Follow your interest and then see if you have some electives. Maybe take a look at some of the first year foundation courses or one program courses or the 1997 courses. So all of these are actually smaller classes that you can that are meant for the faculty to work with first year in like either introducing them more to research opportunities, how to do research, also maybe introduce them the one program, for example, they also have experiential learning component to it that take you outside the classroom on projects that you will do outside the classroom. So these are all great opportunities for you to kind of like have a first year course where you can have some extra support from faculty and peers. And when you choose your courses, just note what breadth categories there are and see what other breadth categories you may need to do in the future. Again, you don't have to fulfill all of the four full credits of breadth requirement in your first year, but it's good to kind of note which ones you still may need to pick up in the future. All right, so I am going to show you a little video, a short video about the NS1 program. So take a look. All right. So. Okay, so again, I just, this is a great opportunity just to like, let you check out some of these one courses, seminars. Again, you only have an opportunity to take this while you're in the first year. So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of check out what other interests, you may have, to do that. Okay, so let's assume that you already have listed out some programs and you started to build up your list of core courses and electives. Then this would be the time to move into our using the timetable builder. So timetable builder is where you are going to find when the course is going to be offered. Is it a first term, second term, or a year course that goes throughout the fall winter session? So typically, we want you to, so the student if they're enrolled in 3 full credits for the fall winter session, they're considered full-time, even though 5 full credits is the 100% course load. Part-time students is anywhere between 5 to 2.5 credits. Summer session is 1.5 credits to be considered full-time for OSAP purposes, and part-time is 0.5 to 1. So that is the definition for our the university, how it deems you as full-time or part-time based on the number of credits you enrolled. But for fees purposes, there is another distinction that you may want to consider because it does have financial implications. So typically by default, you are deemed as a full-time student, and you will be charged by default a program fee, which is prorated at 5. It's all what we call a flat fee as well. But if you are going to be taking fewer than 4 credits, meaning up to 3.5, 0.5 to 3.5 credits, even though you are a full-time student, you would be eligible to pay per course fee. So for more information, you can check out the fee schedule that will tell you the fee breakdown, but this is, I just want to point out that so early on deciding what your course load might be or how many credits, that will also have an implication on your fee as well. So let's say you assume, as an example, let's say I put down computer science and statistics as our major main area of interest, and other areas that I have, linguistics and cognitive science, for example. So these are, I list out my core courses. And then I room for electives. I included these other area that I'm interested. So I looked at cognitive science, and it tells me that this course but it can be taken in second year. So in other words, these courses are still fine for applying, but this is actually the intro for cognitive science. So I want to know exactly if this is something I want, then you may or may not want to take this in your first year, and you can. There's no prerequisite for this. So here I look at linguistics and other 100 level seminar courses here. And then I was like, okay, maybe math 2 to 3 is also another consideration that I have. So I will start plugging these courses into the timetable, and you will find out when those courses are offered. So for example, CSC 110Y1, it's when you actually check the timetable, it is only offered as an F course. So that means this 1 full credit is squeezed into 1 term. So in terms of term load, it is considered as a 2 course. It's like taking 2 half courses. So as you plan these things, your timetable, you do want to make sure that you also balance the course load for each term, fall and winter session. And you do plan for both and enroll in courses for both terms at the beginning, because if you leave it till later, chances are you may not get sections or courses may be filled up later. So this is how I roughly envision by looking at the FNS make sure that it's balanced, check prerequisites to make sure that the course sequencing is okay. And also then check for time conflict by using the timetable. So here I'm going to show you in live how it might look like. So to use the timetable, you do have to check off arts and science and the right session, okay? Because not all courses listed in the calendar are offered in the session, in the fall winter session. So you need to check this to see what courses are being offered. So I'm gonna choose right now maybe start with CSC 110Y. Okay, when I do this, and you see down here, only F section comes out. CSC 108, on the other hand, it's actually offered in the first term and second term. And CSC 111 is only offered in the second term. So you know it's more restrictive. So this is what you choose this course, and then you go further down, and this is what you'll see. You can click here for more course description, which is the same information that you'll see in the calendar. And this is kind of a good time to sort of check prerequisite, making sure that this is the right course, it's okay. And you'll see here in lecture section. So this course, you will see you have a choice of choosing to do lecture 101 or 201 here, and it's associated with a time. So this is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9 to 11, and this one is Monday 11 to. So you have to stick to the time if that's what you choose. So the other thing is they will tell you the location. This will be updated later in June, so you'll know exactly where the class will be. Instructor, see, these are different sections taught by different instructors. Availability and wait list. It will indicate if there's a wait list, or what your queue is if you're on wait list. And this part is called enrollment control. I'm going to go back to this, but here it tells you the delivery mode. This is an in-person course as opposed to maybe online or hybrid. So enrollment control, here you'll see this one is restricted. R1 means restricted. So restricted to who? Restricted to all first-year students in computer science. So that means only computer science students admitted to the computer science stream can get into this course. Restricted both in the first round of enrollment and the second round. It doesn't change. Okay, so if you are not admitted to the program, then you will have to choose the other two sections, the CSC 148, 165 combination, as explained earlier. So let's say you decide this is what you want, this section what you want, you can add it. And when you add it, you see you hover under this, you see it, and it will show. Okay, now let's say but don't stop there. If you go down and you see a tutorial, remember, it is a compulsory part of the course, and you must enroll in one. Okay, so let's say I just hover over it, this one's fine, this one's fine. Okay, this one, they blocked it, meaning this is not available, it's been canceled, that's fine. So let's say I choose this one, I just add it. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to move on to the next course. Here. Okay. Sorry, I needed that. So let's say I'm going to now change the course, math 137. Okay, so this course hide this for now, has many more sections, right? So lecture sections, look at these, all of these. So some of them are P's, you'll see here. That means these are lecture sections are priorities given to computer science and upper year transfer student, but also some social sciences, but humanities will not have priority for this. So they will have to wait until when? Until July 25th. I'm going to go over this, but there are two rounds of enrollment. The priority enrollment starts on your start time to the 23rd. And after that, on the 25th, all the P indicators will be dropped and the course will become open to all students from other categories. So make sure that you always take advantage of the priority round if you are in the priority, right? If not, then you'll have to, for those specific courses, you have to keep in mind that you may have to try on July 25th to add those. Okay. So let's say I add this, and it's fine, okay. Not a problem, so I show here. Okay, so if there are conflicts, you can remove it, okay? I think this works. So then now I remove it, I can add another section here. Oh, this still covered. Oh, this one works, so I can choose to add it, okay? So basically, this is what you go through, but lock in the ones that have fewer lecture sections first, and then add the other ones. And then always like see if you see a tutorial, yeah, add it, okay? So because you do have to choose one tutorial. And basically you'll be doing that for all your courses until you find and finalize your timetable and you're happy with it. Then at that time, you would, then at that time you can export this so that you can download the file and have all this information. This is the information, the course code and lecture sections and tutorials. Those are the codes that you need to actually enter onto Acorn on your enrollment card, so that then you can finalize your course enrollment, okay? So just doing this timetable is only the second step. You still need to enter all of these course code again onto Acorn enrollment card and enroll them on your start date. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you later. Okay, so this is basically how the timetable will work. This is a great tool, so you can see right away where you're at and mitigate any time conflicts that you have. So again, I highly recommend you do not or try to avoid any conflicts at all, because even though Acorn may not stop you from enrolling courses that have time conflict, you can only be one place at one time. And if you do this, then it will mean you may have to miss some tests or have conflicts, time conflicts that may not be mitigated because profs are not. So if you have to at all, sometimes if there's like the timetable doesn't work out the way it is and you have to, then you may need to talk to professors to mitigate time conflict. But generally, you should avoid being enrolled in courses at conflicting time. Okay. Okay, so we talked about these enrollment controls. There are some courses that you have to, if it says at E, it means you must contact the department. You can't enroll on Acorn. There are some courses that has a two-step process. You apply in the first round and then you find out whether, and then the department will approve you or refuse you. Okay, then you saw an example of restricted courses and yeah, so on and so forth. So enrollment control is a good things to sort of take a look. So, but the one that you probably most common that you'll see run into would be this priority. So how does the priority and general round work? So so there's every year, starting in your first year, there's going to be always generally 2 rounds of enrollment at the Faculty of Arts and Science. The first round typically starts in July. So we'll start with the fourth year student going in earlier July, then second year, then fourth year, third year, and then fourth year. So sorry, first year. Fourth year first, third, second, and then first. The first year students have fewer than 4 credits. So your year of study, again, is determined by the number of credits you've completed at the end of summer. So assuming you're entering first year, probably have fewer than 4, maybe some transfer credits. So you could start checking your start time starting on July 1st, but your actual priority enrollment start time will be or is July 17th at whatever start time you're giving. For all first year course students, the start time is determined by your admission category. Now, remember, for courses that you do not have priority, let's say you want to take a course that is in English, that has a priority for student in English or whatnot, but you want to take it, you can. But if you don't meet the priority enrollment group, then you will have to wait for July 25th. At 12 noon, you can start entering those courses that you didn't previously have priority for. Okay. And then usually the later you wait, then other students from other divisions will start, can get into the courses. So the longer you wait, the most likely the courses will fill up. So oftentimes you hear people say, oh, I didn't get the courses and whatnot. Generally, most likely they did not start at their start time. Because if you go with that, you should be able to get the courses that you need for your category, generally fairly fine in that, if you do take advantage of the priority round. Okay, so every year, I think there are 3 dates that we'll call non-enrollment dates, which on ROSI you will not be able to enroll. And so don't panic if you do come across that, check that it's not one of those, maybe it's one of those non-enrollment date, and then you try to add courses or change courses the next day. Okay, so make sure so this is just generally the enrollment process. Okay, so a note, I have a map here just to kind of give you a sense. So you can schedule courses one after another because during the day, the lectures start with L0 something. They are daytime lectures that they start 10 minutes after the class. So you technically have 10 minutes to go from one class to another. Typically it's fine going to the Central East or whatnot. The only thing that might be a stretch in the winter would be going from scheduling class, like let's say all the way from West End, this corner to that corner. Then it might take more than 10 minutes. But other than that, typically it should be easy to do that. And evening courses that start that has like a L5 something, those are considered evening courses that start after 5 p.m. Those courses will start on time, on the hour. So if it starts at 6, then it starts at 6, but they might give you a break in between and you might be able to get off early. But during the day, you have 10 minutes after the class actually starts, 10 minutes after the hour. Okay. All right. So okay, now that you build your timetable and you have your course timetable with you, then that's when you may go into the Acorn to enroll in those courses. So Acorn, some of you have probably by now would be able to sort of log in. So this is Acorn, and you go in, you will log in with your ID. So you do have to have that ready. And then you can use this enroll manage. This is the tab you use to enroll in courses and programs. But yeah, so this is where it is. So once you enroll in your courses, and then by then you will probably see your invoice and whatnot. You can proceed to make payments online. You need a Canadian, I think you need a bank information here to do that. And that will change your status, enrollment status from invite to so degree registration side. This is financial personnel, but it should for all of you, you should see invite, and then you will be financially canceled if you do not pay by August 12th. Okay. You do want to pay or have your registration, your courses being officially registered by August 12th. If not, then that means you will lose your courses and there is no guarantee you can get back in after. So that's why this date is very important for you to make sure that you do at least pay the first installment or defer your fees with OSAT or scholarship to ensure that you are registered. Okay, then I think the other dates and academic dates are noted in the academic date and deadline, where your classes begin, when the wait list for F&Y closes end. And typically there's a couple of few dates here, what they call lottery. So you can still add the course if you happen to spot and someone happens to drop the course. And then these are the non-enrollment dates. So again, I would say make sure that you mark your first priority round. At that time, you are only limited to enroll up to 5 full credits, including waitlist courses. And on July 25th, you will be able to add up to 6 courses. But you should really settle on all the courses you actually intend to do, let's say 5, by the 15th. That's also the date where you can freeze your program. So if you are taking fewer than 4 credits, you can change the program per course fee. So that's another, it coincides with the last day to add or drop F&Y courses. Okay, so to recap, course enrollment, you can start making your timetable and putting all your courses into the enrollment card on Acorn. And then on your start date, add all of those courses. You will be able to know in real time whether you get into the course or you will be asked to be added on the wait list or not, or make changes up until September 15. And then you can, you would proceed once you add your courses, proceed to pay for your fees, and that will equal to registration by, and then the deadline is August 12th again to do that. So final thoughts. Sometimes you get into courses and you're waitlisted. I just wanted to say that if you are in the first like 10% of the course, like, you know, then that means it's probably worth to stick it out for a bit. And check if you're a wait list. If you do get into the course, I think you do get an email saying that you have now been enrolled in this course. So then you can make your changes, make sure you log into Acorn to if you need to check and whatnot, then this will be something you'll do. So the priority round ends on the 23rd and general enrollment starts on the, sorry, there's a typo here. It's on the 25th of July. Make sure that you have backup in mind if you're waitlisted in some courses. Make sure that you have some alternate lectures and times courses as well. Yeah, there's a maximum of 2 full credits that they can you could be waitlisted for. Acorn will not prevent you from enrolling courses if you're missing prerequisites or have course exclusion, but the departments will potentially enforce this much later in the term and might refuse you enrollment later or make your course extra. So these are not things that you want to be surprised by. So ensure that you're settled and all the courses and you're following all of these prerequisites and so on and so forth. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us and also the department to ensure that you are okay to stay in the course or have the appropriate waiver or prerequisites needed. So in the second round, you can add up to 6 credits in the general round. Okay. And I think that's comes to the final slide, which is the Arrive Ready. Some of the study modules will be starting on July 21st. So I really encourage you to take a look at it. Including the Preparing for University Math Pump. They offer 2 sessions, one I think it's online and one in person. These are free for students who may want to sort of make sure they brush up on on their calculus. And that's basically brings us to the conclusion of this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me personally or email registrar.innis. Again, thank you for listening and hope you have enjoyed the rest of the day.